Well, most teachers will tell you that they're always looking for ways to make learning easier and more fun for their students. Well, in today's Parent-Teacher Corner, we may have just the answer for you, and it comes from a woman with just an incredible story of will, determination, and inspiration. Meet Dinah-Might. She's an author and teacher and the creator of 3D graphic organizers, or Foldables. Hey, Dinah, good morning to you.
Hi, Danielle. Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's so good to see you. First of all, describe what a 3D graphic organizer is, what it does, and how you came up with the idea.
Oh, well, you know, so much of what our students do in school is two-dimensional. It's fill-in-the-blank worksheets, it's workbooks, or computer-generated print, or blocks of text. But any child that you take to a museum or to a science center, they don't go to the blocks of text.
They do not.
No, they might go to a block of wood, though, that's hinged, and it has a question on the front and an answer underneath. Well, that's a three-dimensional graphic organizer. It's taking information and making them do an action to find an answer. And when I was growing up in high school, I had difficulty pulling text and content out that I needed to know. And I found on students I tutored, they also had difficulty getting that information. But it was much, much easier if I came in and I folded a sheet of paper, folded into thirds and cut it and made 3 sections. So you see those 3 branches of government and you can write about them underneath. But you know, I was just a kid and I didn't know what to call it, so I called it books. Let's make a book.
Right.
And my very first book actually was called The Big Book of Books and Activities, and it won, I think, the first Teacher's Choice Award year that they were giving those awards.
Good for you. That's great.
It was exciting. And we called it all kinds of things after that, you know, graphic organizers, worksheet, 3D worksheets. And then in 2000, I started integrating my materials into the McGraw-Hill textbooks, and they came up with the term foldables.
And here we are today.
That's right.
It's 40 years later, and just as important an educational tool as they were when you first started it. I mean, especially given all these changes that are happening now with technology.
Yes.
You and I were talking a little bit about that. But, you know, clearly, you're a very focused, determined career person. But those same qualities that made you great professionally also came into play in your personal life. And I want to touch on that in just a moment, or right now, if you don't mind if I switch gears here for just a moment, because I think it was back in 2006, you were diagnosed with just a really serious and potentially life-threatening illness. Tell us about that.
I was diagnosed with HER2-positive breast cancer.
Oh, boy.
And up until that point, I didn't even know there were different types of breast cancer. And it was quite a frightening experience. I went through 6 months of chemotherapy and 7 weeks of radiation, and another year, though, of a fantastic drug called Herceptin that has really helped to save so many lives. And at my 5-year mark in 2011, I was told that I'm NED, no evidence of disease.
Oh, good
so
for you. Wonderful.
It's just been wonderful.
Wonderful. You were talking a little bit about some side effects that you still have today.
Yes, my hands tremble, and I had a little bit of a heart problem with that too. It can do that, but the side effects are worth the living through for the life that you get from it.
Absolutely, and the life that you bring into our studio. When you walked in this morning, you were just so positive and smiling. And it's interesting, when people are faced with life-threatening illnesses, it almost seems like your whole perception and how you view life changes.
I think it does.
A little bit, you know, and so you've triumphed over personal and professional things that you've had to deal with. And so let's go back to those foldables, my dear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And it's kind of a selfish reason, because I know my boys would absolutely love this. Do you mind showing us a quick demonstration of how they work?
Not at all. You know, we did this one for executive, legislative, and judicial, but it could have been igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary if we look at 3 different types of rocks, or if I'm looking at states of matter that I can touch and feel. It might be solid, liquid, and gas. It might be looking at a story. Let me show you what Jake did for beginning, middle, and ending. Isn't this wonderful? And then his sketches and his writing underneath. So the foldables not only, of course, can be divided into thirds, but into fourths. Look at this book in the Spanish notebook and looking at heroes and 4 different things about the heroes. This is looking at different layers and events of things taking place. But look at this one just really quickly. This was 5 different events.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that fun how it folds out even, and then they're writing and information underneath the tabs. Now, this is a 2nd grade example in a book. Can you believe it?
That was 2nd grade?
2nd grade,
oh
yes.
My gosh.
But look at what this looks like even for chemistry. This is on the history of different models of the atom. Isn't it nice that it actually has a kinesthetic and a movement to it?
Yeah, it looks like Greek to me.
And that same type of thing, this is even looking at electron dot diagrams.
This is for high school,
This is high school, yeah, this is high school chemistry. And then middle school, you can see the same type of thing. This is that 3 that I was showing you a while ago, but part of the composition book. And then the students have their data, and it's all together and it's organized.
and it helps them become, I think, ultimately better learners.
Yes, I think so
Don't
too.
you think?
I've seen it in students.
I tell you what, thank you so much for sharing. This is something I can't wait to take home and use with my own boys.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
What a pleasure meeting you this morning. Thanks for stopping by. And to find out more about Dinah's books, her videos, her conferences, as well as other cool foldable ideas that you can use yourself, simply go to the website Dinah.com.